diabetic. I'm getting ready, will I put my purse, will I bring? I instantly said, you know, I'm not really sure how I'm going to start this speech. And as I said that, my bag of diabetic supplies spills out all into the car. And the most important piece is that vial of insulin that fell right in the middle of nowhere between the seat and the console. And there goes my night as a type 1 diabetic. I have to get my chubby fingers down in between the seats just to get my vial of insulin. That seems like not a big deal for most people, but to me that was the rest of the evening. It was. So type 1 diabetes is a big disease, even though you don't see type 1 diabetics dealing with it out in public, out in the open. We are constantly on call for diabetes. So let me read you my speech. My name is Jennifer Ruck. I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes at 5 years old. I have 4 diabetics in my family. My dad, 2 brothers, and I all have type 1 diabetes. Diabetes was often a topic of conversation at our dinner table, and we would share tips and tricks like my dad swearing Diet Coke lowers his blood sugar. We would tell each other warnings like, be sure to take an extra glucometer on vacations because mine fell out of my pocket into the porta potty. Towards the end of the dinner, one of us would often shake our heads and grumble, stupid diabetes. I graduated as a registered nurse in 2017 from the University of Arkansas in Fayetteville. I am currently working as a diabetic educator at St. Vincent Diabetes Endocrinology Clinic. At that job, I get to share my stories and those dinner table conversations that I had growing up with my patients. Diabetes has not only been a diagnosis, but has also been a stumbling block, teacher, speed bump, black hole, springboard, unifier, job, identity, free candy winner, companion, confidence builder, and opportunity holder all in one. In order to truly depict how diabetes is all those things in one, I decided to read you all a letter I wrote. Dear Diabetes, I first met you when I was 5 years old. You said hi via an insulin shot in my stomach as I screamed. Little did I understand at that time you would be with me the rest of my life. Later we fought in middle school when I was learning how to introduce you to others. Some people embarrassingly asked about you, and others didn't bother asking, but instead made their own judgment of us. Do you remember that time I was so overwhelmed with life and was 2 centimeters away from injecting an insulin dose powerful enough to kill myself? I remember. You taught me how to manage my outward emotions even though I physically felt sick inside. Over the years, I had to learn the difference between my doctors telling me I was a bad diabetic and failure, and my organ being the true failure. Now I think of you as that annoying coworker who pesters me day and night. I'm on call for you 24/7, adjusting insulin, drinking juice for a low blood sugar, changing my insulin pump site every 3 days, or grabbing test strips before I go to a meeting. Stupid diabetes. With all this to juggle, I have to remind myself that less than 100 years ago, type 1 diabetics were known to have the wasting disease, often dying within a year without the miracle of insulin. Every day a type 1 diabetic lives after diagnosis is a blessing or bonus day, as I personally call it. A bonus day I get to live and experience past my diagnosis date. Insulin is not a cure. It's a miraculous Band-Aid that's buying me time until a cure is found. Dear Diabetes, you've taught me so much.
Welcome to the JDRF Imagine Gala. We appreciate you.
And overcomer. Dear Diabetes, you've taught me so much. Look how much you've caused me to grow, pushed me to be stronger, courageous, and fight an hourly battle. You've given me a burning passion that propels me in my career as a diabetic educator. You've placed me on platforms I could not have anticipated. This is me. Until a cure comes, we will continue living our bonus days. But one day, Diabetes, I will say I used to know you. Sincerely, Jennifer. This is just my story. There are many, many other type 1 diabetics living and struggling with diabetes day in and day out, and they make it look easy. I'm going to introduce to you other type 1 diabetic kids who share my story. Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the screen.